Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. As Agrokor's financial woes continue, a meeting of representatives from some of its biggest suppliers, including Dukat, Frank, Kraš, Podravka and Vindija, was held in Zagreb today. They are scheduled to meet with Deputy Prime Minister and Economy Minister Martina Dalić tomorrow.
Our goal is to maintain the stability of our companies, as well as that of Agrokor, which is our biggest distributor and our biggest means of selling our products in Croatia.
Croatia's largest employer is struggling under a mountain of debt owed to Russia's Sberbank. Sberbank has apparently offered to lend the consortium more money, but only if it can put its own people in the company's management structure. Parliament Speaker Božo Petrov had this to say about today's developments.
I think it should be said that this initiative from the suppliers is very important. Allow me to be somewhat skeptical of the banks after what they've done here in the past 20 years. I think these suppliers have much more contact with and are much more concerned about our farmers than the banks, who I don't think share that concern.
In more than a quarter century since Croatia's independence, the country has yet to draft a strategic document on its future. This could change shortly after top state officials and 10 leading academics attended a conference titled, "What Kind of Croatia Do We Need?" in Zagreb today. The focus was on demographic revival and a better living standard.
Demographic recovery is the primary task ahead of us. We have to act with the highest level of social consensus, but quickly and consistently with clear and predictable short-term effects and long-term goals, while taking into account economic, social, defense, security, and other aspects of the developmental perspectives of the country and society.
We want a Croatia of educated people who will be able to realize their ambitions in their homeland, where they will raise their families and work for a better life for themselves and Croatian society as a whole. We are aware of all the challenges, and we have approached the problems that lie ahead very seriously. We are consulting with a number of experts. The message I want to send as Prime Minister is one of stability, strength, perseverance, and optimism.
Meanwhile, the State Statistics Bureau presented some concerning numbers today. According to the latest figures, the mortality rate in January jumped by 42% year-on-year. This means that in January, Croatia had the highest number of deaths in any one month since 1990. The birth rate also increased, but only by 10%. The two-week appeal proceedings for 6 former Bosnian Croat leaders began at The Hague today. In 2013, the 6 men were sentenced to a total of 111 years in prison for what the tribunal called their participation, together with Croatia's first president, Franjo Tuđman, in a joint criminal enterprise against non-Croat population of Bosnia-Herzegovina. A final ruling is expected by the end of the year.
Tuđman continually said the same thing, regardless of whether he was talking to representatives of the international community, Muslims, or Croats from Bosnia and Herzegovina. He supported Bosnia and Herzegovina's independence, clearly opposed the change to the borders, was open to cooperation with Muslims, against the war, and even rejecting Izetbegović's offer to annex Herzegovina.
Speaking on Croatian radio this morning, former Justice Minister Vesna Škare-Ožbolt said that the tribunal's use of phrases such as joint criminal enterprise in the case was dangerous. She noted that not only had former Serbian President Slobodan Milošević and Serb radical Vojislav Šešelj avoided guilty verdicts, but now the tribunal was almost presenting Croatia as the aggressor in the 1990s wars, which is historically absurd. In news from the European Union, British Prime Minister Theresa May's spokesman has confirmed that the PM will initiate Article 50 on March 29th, and thereby begin 2 years of negotiations on the UK's exit from the European Union.
Well, I'm very clear that I want to ensure we get the best possible deal for the United Kingdom that works for everyone across the United Kingdom and all parts of the UK when we enter these negotiations. I've set out my objectives. Those include getting a good free trade deal. They include putting issues like our continuing working together on issues like security as at the core of what we're doing. We're going to be out there negotiating hard, delivering on what the British people voted for.
In Zadar today, Agriculture Minister Tomislav Tolušić attended yet another Breakfast from Croatian Farms event. The minister was accompanied by the EU's Commissioner for Maritime Affairs and Fisheries, who reassured local fishermen that the Commission is not planning on slashing catch limits for sardines and anchovies between 2020 and 2030, as had been announced.
We are not proposing any cut, not 60, not 6, not 1, nothing. What we are proposing is we want to make certain on some things we are already agreed. We are already agreed that the stocks are not doing very well. We are already agreed that we need to do something about it.
The way in which to reach these goals may be where we disagree slightly. The Commission has offered one proposal, which I definitely feel is on the right track, but still needs some finishing touches. For our part, we in Croatia feel that we have already imposed a large number of limits.
The European Commission has issued a delegated act by which Croatian wine producers from the Istrian Peninsula will be allowed to label their wines made from the Teran variety of grape as Teran. Slovenia had blocked such labeling when it applied for the EU's protected geographic origin status for that grape variety. Taking a quick look at sports, Croatia's national football team have gathered in Zagreb to prepare for Friday's 2018 World Cup qualifier against Ukraine. Coach Ante Čačić will not be able to count on defender Vedran Čorluka or right back Šime Vrsaljko, who are out with injury. Opening kickoff is at 8:45 local time in Zagreb's Maksimir Stadium. After 4 rounds of play in Group I, Croatia is first with 10 points. Ukraine is second with 8. And now the forecast for tomorrow. Partly sunny on the northern Adriatic, predominantly sunny elsewhere. Some increased cloud cover on the Istrian Peninsula in the afternoon could bring with it some isolated showers. There will be a mild to moderate southeasterly on the coast with an easterly in the morning and southwesterly in places in the afternoon. Morning lows of 5 to 10 degrees Celsius inland, 8 to 13 on the Adriatic, will give way to highs of 17 to 23 degrees. The 3-day forecast for the interior calls for unseasonably warm weather with variable cloud cover and a chance of some light rain primarily on Wednesday. The coast will also see partly sunny skies. Increased cloud cover on the northern Adriatic on Wednesday will be accompanied by some rain. Expect unseasonably warm temperatures. And that wraps up the news. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night.